that it concentrates. You don't want to turn your back on cheetah. It was one of the most incredible things I've seen. It was Jamie's sighting, wasn't it? Where the cheetah ran was chasing that wildebeest straight towards her. Was that Jamie? That was incredible to see how that young wildebeest turned around, stopped and looked at the cheetah and kept on going. And then it was quite amazing because as the wildebeest turned around and looked back in the direction that it was going, those cheetah made its move. Now they're sitting down again. Hello everybody who has just joined us for this live broadcast. It's great to have you this afternoon. We are sitting in the middle of the Masai Mara National Park watching a famous coalition of cheetahs, the 5 males known as the Musketeers, who have just decided to wake up and go on a bit of a walkabout. Now this is live, this is happening right now, so if you have any questions for us, you're more than welcome to just comment away. And hopefully we're going to see a bit of action. They've already chased the wildebeest around once, and I don't think that it is going to end just yet. But what's really exciting about this afternoon is that it is not just me sitting in the sighting. My name is Taylor, and on camera with me is Manu, and you're also going to meet Scott and Jahawi a little bit later too. They're actually driving just down in the distance. You can see them, and they're off to the left. And hopefully, there's Scott, and hopefully as we go along, we're going to be able to bring you 2 different angles. Cheetah hunts are exceptionally difficult to film, being the fastest land mammal out there. Sometimes it helps to have so many. So they're moving away from the group. They've split up a huge herd of wildebeest. There must have been maybe 200 or 300 of them at one point, and they got in amongst them. One group decided to stay together. They're now standing their ground, but they're walking towards the larger group, which has run off down to the south, which is very exciting. Where's our 5th fella? Oh no, he's there. I just couldn't count for a minute there. All 5 are there. So hopefully Scott will be able to get around and get them walking straight towards him. They're going to have to cover a bit of ground now. They were unsuccessful in this area, so they're going to have to move off and try again. Hopefully they try on the same group of wildebeest, just because they're slightly panicked already. And that might work in the favor of the cheetah, having animals that are slightly sort of stressed. They might not be thinking as clearly as they would. A couple of Thompson's gazelle also just standing on the horizon, but they're not interested in them. A Thompson's gazelle for 5 male cheetah is not going to be a very good meal. They need to take something down, like a subadult. A subadult wildebeest would probably be good. In that way, it's not too much. It's just enough. They don't want to hold on to a kill for too long. Now, there obviously are lots of other vehicles driving around. This is a national park, so and many safari cars. So you will see them in and amongst as we go along, and they're going to walk straight towards the cars in a little bit. But don't worry, they're habituated to the vehicles, and we're going to try and give them as much room possible. We're sitting exceptionally far away from them at the moment. We're probably about 150 meters out. And I think that's important, especially when you are trying to film cheetah, because if they just take off and go and you're too close, you're going to miss everything. This way, we can guarantee that we're going to bring you the shots. But this is very cool. Okay, we're going to actually have to move up and around now, because we're about to lose sight of them. They're going to disappear between all the cars, and I want to make sure that we get in position. So I'm going to go around. We're going to go around towards where the wildebeest are, and get a view from that side. So let's go do that. I'm so sorry. Please, can you say that again? Sorry, we're having a bit of comms problems this afternoon in this particular area. Maybe as we drive higher up onto the crest, it's going to be a bit better. Okay, I'm going to race around and get towards where the wildebeest are. I'm going to leave you in the trusty hands of my friend Scott.
Okay, so we're also just waiting for them to pop out. as they move towards, I'm fairly certain, the small croton bush where there's another dead tree fallen down, and it's quite a good spot for them to do some scent marking. And even though they are keen for a meal, they kind of scent mark as they go. We saw that yesterday morning before they caught a hartebeest. They chased some wildebeest for a bit, then they went around, did some scent marking, and then got back focused on the hunting. We're going to get some great views of them now as they walk past us. We are incredibly fortunate to be viewing 5 of these incredible animals doing their business together. It's not common to get a coalition as large as 5. Even though it does happen, it certainly is not a common scenario. And it'll be interesting to know when last there was actually a coalition of 5 cheetah in the Masai Mara. And yes, indeed, Kimberly, this is quite an intimidating scene, especially for the prey animals that live on these plains. These guys are a serious force to be reckoned with. We're getting spoiled this afternoon. They're up and mobile a little bit earlier than I expected them to be. And they are going to be heading towards this bush for some scent marking. Paula, you would like to know what the chances are of them catching something this evening, and I would say they are high. I think what may happen, though, is that they may become successful towards the end of the drive once darkness has set in, which is going to make our lives very tricky. It's hard enough during the day to know which one to follow. At night, it is going to be exceptionally difficult, especially seeing as though we don't have the lenses and cameras that we use during the TV shows anymore, which were far more effective than the ones we are currently using. So it means that our range is not nearly as far. We can see about a quarter as far as we could with those other cameras. So if any of you are a little bit confused as to what has happened, that is the reason why. We no longer have 3 lenses of only 17 in the world, so that gives you an idea of how valuable and obviously unique these are that we were using. Only 17 in the world, and they take, I think, a year and a half to make. So I think they will be successful. That's what my money is on, and it may not happen right now, but I'm confident before the end of the sunset safari, we're definitely going to see them trying at least to get themselves a meal. And what I've noticed is usually when they try, they succeed. Because there are so many of them, their strike rate, I've noticed, is incredibly high, and just about anything they chase after, they end up pulling down. For now, though, looks like they're not in a major rush. Hi Rita, you'd like to know if they all target the same animal, and not necessarily. I mean, it's such chaos when it happens that it's hard to know exactly what's going on. But usually, I mean, it's just once one of them gets lucky, the others kind of watch and see and then tag along to help. It's seldom that all 5 are actually chasing wildebeest at the same time and therefore end up chasing their own. It's like one has a go, the other 4 watch, then another one has a go while the others watch, and once one of them has managed to at least latch onto a prey item, the rest come in as backup. Oh, wonderful. Well, now that their scent marking is over, maybe they'll be back onto dinner plans. The herd that they were kind of trying to hunt earlier split up, one half of which disappeared behind this little ridge that's between us and the background there. You can see a few lapwings on the edge of that ridge, so there could be some more prey nearby. Hello, random comment. You would like to know, why do the prey all stick around rather than fleeing? And Yes, the basic answer to that is that they would rather keep an eye on possible threats than flee into any other unknown threats that could be waiting around any corner in the Mara. There's a lot of predators out here, and are we going to have some boxing here? Well, they can get quite aggressive with one another from time to time, and it just kind of spurs up out of nowhere. So they're definitely still working out who's boss. They haven't been very feisty with one another over the last few days that I've been with them. They went through a period where they were really having quite a few debates amongst one another as to who's the boss. I love it when they roll around like this, giving their backs a good scratch. Obviously a difficult spot for them to get to. Hello, Aaron. You'd like to know if they all have names? Not really that I know of. I mean, I guess they could. I don't know what they are. I only know of the one's name that has got the collar, and that's D'Artagnan. And the other ones are numbered by one of the researchers. She calls them by numbers. So I think they're 41 or 42 and 43 and 44, four of them, and then D'Artagnan. So we haven't named them yet. It is something we probably should do sooner rather than later, but it's tricky business identifying them. Very tricky. I mean, it can certainly be done, but out in the field, it's tricky to know, okay, that's that one, this is that one. Some people have just got a knack of being able to pick up the differences on their spots, and they all do have unique patterns. The legs are often used as the main ID points on cheetah, not the faces like we use more for leopard. Wonderful. Well, I'm wondering where Taylor's gone. She bunking work? Possibly. She may be on the other side waiting with the wildebeest. I'm guessing that could be the case. Let's actually just wait here and see if she pops up onto the scene, because we are going to get some great views from a lower angle here as they head off in the same direction that herd of wildebeest that they split up headed. So as they reach the end of that little ridge and those bushes that they're heading towards, they could have round 2 for this afternoon. There I can see Taylor. She's kind of at our 2 o'clock jar, hiding behind a bush. There's Taylor. Looks like she's playing a game on her cell phone, if you're asking me. Yeah, she's playing a game on her cell phone. There it is, while she's at work. Naughty Taylor, we're spying on you. Alrighty, well, let's reposition. Try and work out where the best spot to be is. I'm guessing Taylor has got herself into a good spot down there. Lots of happy people, of course. 5 cheetah on the move with the prospects of a kill. I think it's fair to say the Masai Mara must be the one wilderness destination where very, very lucky first-time safari goers get to see kills. To see a kill on your first safari, and a lot of people only come on one safari in their life, is just ridiculous, considering how much time guides spend in so many different areas of Africa hoping to see action unfold. Yet here, it's just the perfect habitat, nice and open so you can see a long distance, lots of predators, the migration. So this must be the best place to witness kills. So if that's what you're into, this is the place to plan your trip to. I think it's fair to say in the last 3 or 4 months of being here, I've seen probably twice as many or 3 times as many kills as I've seen in 8 or 9 years of guiding elsewhere. Hi Natalie, you'd like to know if they've ever caught 2 animals in one hunt. I'm sure it must have happened, but not while we have been there. Not in our presence. So, definitely possible. I would find it surprising that they haven't. And like I said earlier, sometimes they kind of do their own thing, and one chases the herd of wildebeest that way, and then the other chases that way. And I'm sure they may have even caught more than 2 animals in one sitting. Taken the long way around here. That's all good. I'm fairly certain they're heading towards this gardenia tree for some scent markings, so we'll be in a good spot to receive them here. It's interesting getting to know all these gardenia trees because the cheetah take us from one to the next. I've definitely been here with them before. Seems like Taylor might be in a better spot for some views now as they make their way to this tree. I'm just going to wait for a confirmation from Kirsty. No, not yet. Seems like Taylor can't make up her mind. She's shifting the vehicle around and obviously negotiating for all the other vehicles that are enjoying the sighting with us. They'll pop out here at some point. Hi Janine, you'd like to know if female cheetah will scent mark like these males are doing? Yes, they will, but only when they are looking for a boyfriend. So they only put out the message and scent mark as and when they need a man in their life. They don't do it to compete with other females for territory. So it's not a territorial scent mark like these guys are doing. It's more the fact that they're putting up a notice saying they are single. I've never actually seen a female cheetah scent mark, so that's something I look forward to seeing. There was one male cheetah when I started my career in the Sabi sands called the 40-kilometer pan male. I'm sure he's no longer around. We're going to send you back to Taylor, who has got some good views of the boys.
We do, but it's not going to be for too long, leaping over a little stretch of water there. And this has been incredible. They're still on the move. They are heading towards the wildebeest, but they're a little bit of a distance away. This could take a little bit of time. That's really quite cool to watch them. Look at the spring in their step. But I hope that you've enjoyed this interaction. We're spending time with us and the cheetah with this live broadcast. And we're going to stick with these boys. We're going to follow them, and hopefully we're going to catch them in the act and in the hunt. So keep an eye out for another notification as to when we go live. But for myself, Scott, Jahawi and Manu, it's been great, and we'll definitely hopefully we'll hear from you a little bit later. Hello everyone, it's me again. Let me quickly try and get a nice spot here. We're basically just bouncing between the vehicles. Look, I'm going to go around again. Let's do this. I'm going to leave Scott there. And we are going to go and sit by the wildebeest. I think that's what we're going to do, and hopefully get some time. Maybe we just move out of the way of these cars. They're all racing because now they're late, because I know they're going to get fined if they don't get to the gate soon. Right, Tristan has had the afternoon off today. Let's go and see if he's maybe been catching up on his tan, perhaps reading a book, or, well, maybe he's just hydrating and sipping on some water.
Well, yes, Taylor, I'm catching up on my tan. I've decided that since there's no animals, I might as well be a mobile suntan unit. So you can see I've got legs up, sun's out, guns out, as they say. Not that I have the guns out, I've just got the shoes out and the socks, and, well, no socks actually, and legs. Although the problem with it is that it's difficult. There we go, there's Senzo's foot as well. Senzo, put your foot across. There we go. That's how Senzo and I have been rolling down through the reserve, because like I say, we've been struggling with no animals at all. So, well, we did actually have a tortoise. We had a tortoise. That was the highlight of our afternoon, was one little tortoise crossing the road in front of us, which was quite wonderful. And then a lilac-breasted roller chasing a purple roller. That was our kind of sum total of our afternoon. We've checked for leopard tracks, seen leopard tracks everywhere, can't find leopard anywhere. It seems to be just one of those afternoons, but it's okay. We're just enjoying ourselves and enjoying the afternoon. It's been wonderful to kind of drive around and just enjoy the sunshine for once. And as Taylor says, we're just catching a suntan, having an afternoon off, apparently. It's just like Taylor yesterday, really. She had her own afternoon off as well when she went visiting the local communities. I do honestly think that I will vote for Taylor in the Telek region. It's definitely Taylor for Telek in that area, and I'll make sure that I cast my vote if I ever get to the Masai Mara at some point. So if I do get there, then I'll make sure that Taylor just leaves a little ballot box and I'll put my name in there, or at least just an X. X seems fair enough, then she doesn't even have to know it was me. It can be anybody. Right, in all seriousness though, I'm running out of ideas as to where to go and to check. Seems like Shadow and Cub came out on top of our tracks and have been going all over the place as well. They've been giving poor Aubrey a headache like they gave me this morning, and he says to me that their tracks are just like the ones that I was following, and that they're going in about 10 different directions, and he says it's very difficult to find anything, but he is looking. His tracker is off on foot, having a little look around. So while that's happening, I'm just exploring other areas just in case. The male tracks that we saw with the hyenas that you last saw us with, well, those male leopard tracks just disappear for some reason. They completely vanish as they get to Twin Dams Road. Can't find any sign of them crossing east, west, north, south, anywhere along there. So I don't quite know where those have ended up. The thing is that there is, like I say, a crew that are out during the day just doing some road maintenance, and they've been spending a lot of time going from Twin Dams to the camp, and so it's very possible that they've just driven over those tracks, unfortunately, and that's why we haven't seen anything. But it's okay, it's also the way it goes. So what I'm thinking is I might do just a quick trip past Chitwa Dam, just go and have a little look behind the dam wall. Maybe Hosanna is down that way. At the end of the day, he could be just taking it easy. We also got to go and see Boo, and then there's also, I don't know, 3 crocodiles. So what are we going to name our 3 crocodiles, our baby crocs? Hashtag Safari Live. We need a threesome name. What can we get? What 3 Stooges? 3 Stooges might be quite cool. I don't know, but then they don't have an individual name. What do you think, Kirst? Kirst is always good with names. She comes up with rather punny ones. Maybe she can find us a good crocodile name. Senzo, what do you think? Since you have a crocodile t-shirt, maybe we should call one Senzo, because Senzo's got a crocodile. Tic Tac and Toe. That's actually quite nice. I quite like that. Although I feel like Tic Tac and Toe would be more appropriate for 3 little warthog piglets. But maybe our crocodiles. Like I say, hashtag Safari Live with 3 names that you think for our crocs. Let's see. Maybe we can come up with some nice, entertaining ones for all of them. I've been trying to rack my brains of 3 kind of types, or 3 characters, famous characters, and I can't really think of too many. It's probably because my brain has been cooked this afternoon from the sheer sun that's been raining down, and I forgot that I have to drink water, so I actually need to probably look into doing that. Tic Tac and Toe, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. What else could there be? What if they're all females then? I suppose Tic Tac and Toe could be generic for both male and female. What else? I'm just trying to think. The 3 Stooges, we already said. No, but that doesn't work. Phew, I don't know. There must be 3 famous sort of characters altogether. We can't have musketeers anymore because we've got 4 musketeers, 5 musketeers. Maybe 3 musketeers is actually a worthwhile thing. 5 musketeer cheetahs, 4 musketeer lions, 3 musketeer crocodiles, and we can just carry on until we have the 12 musketeers of Christmas. How about that? What do you think, Stens? Stens is just giggling behind you. He thinks I'm absolutely ridiculous and talking absolute nonsense, which is pretty much the case, because I am talking nonsense. I haven't spoken much sense today at all. Oh, what a beautiful day though it is. It's going to be such a lovely sunset a little bit later. Breasted roller is going to be more obliging than our fella this morning. Tiggs, snap, crackle and pop. I quite like that too. Again, but it sounds, I don't know why, I think of warthog. So I'll have to think about that. But while I do that, I believe the cheetah are on the move. So let's quickly jump across to Taylor in the 10 seconds that it takes to get across there, which is very, 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 very long when you want to do a very quick link.
The attitude of these cheetah now, it's definitely changed. They're looking a lot more determined now. They're fixated on the wildebeest. You can see how they keep wanting to drop their shoulders. Now, a cheetah will try and stalk up to its prey as close as it can whenever it has the opportunity. And, I mean, ideally, if they can get within 50 to 60 meters before they start sprinting, there goes Scott. That's ideal, of course. Maybe Scott's going to go around. I know he said he was going to leave, but I think he's going to change his mind. I think he's going to notice this behavior, and hopefully he'll zip around. It is honestly the most gorgeous scene out here this evening. So there's D'Artagnan. There's one of the more dominant males. And there is one that is a keen hunter, and I think it's the same male that keeps initiating these hunts. This fella up here, he's very excited. But they're definitely looking like they're sort of more in hunting mode now. And they also have the cover of dusk. So even though cheetah are predominantly diurnal hunters, they're going to use this sort of fading light to their favor. It's not going to be affecting their eyes as much, but the wildebeest are going to become slightly more disorientated. They're completely oblivious to these cheetah. I can't believe it. They've just been chased around by them, and now it's as if they've forgotten from half an hour ago that that they were coming in that direction. So it's interesting. Well, we've got a beautiful, beautiful scene at the moment. Manu, can we actually have a look at it? I don't know if you saw it with Scott yet. Look at the wildebeest, look at the moon, the dramatic clouds. I might actually try and get behind the cheetah this time, just because the scene that we've got at the moment is one of the prettiest I have ever seen. Isn't that glorious? Now, tomorrow is full moon. So tomorrow we'll be watching the sun set and the moon rise at the same time, which will be spectacular. Maybe we need to plan and then the cheetah sighting. There's all the prey, wildebeest. We've got Thompson's gazelle. There's Scott driving at the back. He's not going anywhere. He's going to sit here. I think we're going to get lucky. I've got a good feeling. I feel as though my wish might come true, which I'm apologizing now for. I might squeal with excitement, of course. It really is. It's been a dream of mine. So if I can get this right, this will be amazing. You know what? What do you think, Manu? Do you think we should go behind the cheetah? Let's do that. We're going to quickly reposition. What I'm going to do is, because then we can get Scott in the shot as well, which will be quite nice. It'll be a very scenic sort of sighting. So I'm not going to go close to them. I just want to get all of that moon, the wildebeest, the dramatic clouds, and then Johnny Bravo, of course, would probably make the picture look a little bit better. So let's go and do that. Okay, almost. Just want to get us into the perfect spot. It is nice when you have the opportunity to play around like this, isn't it? Oh, wow. Sorry, Kirst, I heard the question. I just didn't get the name, unfortunately. There we go, Deb. Now, Deb, you're wondering if these 5 cheetah would set up a hunt like a lion would. I suppose to an extent there is some planning. However, I think it really just depends on the situation and the animals that they go through. Because, I mean, they could ideally have a target, but if once they're charging in, maybe they notice something else catches their eye and they think, oh, we're going to have a better opportunity at going for that one. So, it can change in a split second. And then they'll go for something else. But they're looking now. Look at them. Look how they're looking through. They're going to get up and they'll probably start walking, or they're going to either race towards them and see the reaction of the wildebeest, and then choose a target and then go from there. You might find that there'll be the male that seems to be initiating all the hunt will decide who they're going to go for, one of the more dominant males. But we'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, this is now obviously the third time I've seen the musketeers. I've only seen them I've seen them this morning, which is the second time, and only once prior to that. So I haven't quite worked out for myself who's more dominant. I've just heard that D'Artagnan, the collared male within this coalition, he seems to be one of the more dominant ones, and then there's one other. And so it'd be nice to try and see who's sort of who's living on the outskirts. But you can see, look how 4 of them are staying together. And who's that on the right there, Monique? Is that D'Artagnan? No, I don't see a collar, so that's not him. And then there's one clearly sitting off to the side as well. That is beautiful. Right. We're not going to go to... Oh, I'm not sure what's up. Please can you say that again, Chris? I'm so sorry. The communication is absolutely horrific at the moment. It's very, very difficult to try and hear what is being said. But I'm trying my absolute best. This is going to be interesting. We're going to cut to Scott's picture now, so I'm apparently going to narrate over it. I have no idea what you'll be seeing from Scott's view. This is going to be fun. Well, we'll give it a bash. I don't know if we've now swapped to Scott's view. Okay, so apparently you can see me. I'll wave. I'll sit up and wave. Hello, everybody. This... I don't know what to say. I don't know what I'm seeing. This is probably one of the hardest things. It's like being blind and knowing that there's cheetah there and wildebeest, but you don't know exactly what's being shown at the moment. But a beautiful scene. It's probably not as pretty now with me in the shot, or at least because what I'm looking at is just honestly unbelievable. But yes, this is cool. I think we've parked on the right side, and now the sky is turning pink as well, which is really, really nice. There's beautiful shades of pink and dark blue and light grey clouds. It is a really, really pretty scene. This is probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. This could be in the top 5 most beautiful things. I'd have to think about what the other 4 would be, but this is definitely going in. And I wish you were here experiencing it firsthand. I may even take a picture with my mobile device. I'm totally going to take a picture. It's that beautiful. No one will believe me. No one will believe me. The fact that luckily we've got the show and this is live is the only way that people would believe me. Because I think if you could get this photo right, it's difficult because of course, the fading light, and you don't want to overexpose the sky because of those lovely colors. But people would say that it's photoshopped. It's that surreal. It's a pity that there's so much wind, because the wildebeest are very chatty this afternoon, all just which is quite nice to hear as well. But I don't know if you'll be able to hear it very well. The wind is pumping at the moment, which is good for the cheetah. The cheetah actually sitting downwind of the wildebeest too, so that's good. Well, they've still got a bit of distance to go. They probably need to go maybe another 20 or 30 meters closer towards the wildebeest before they'll have a really good chance at picking up the pace and chasing a wildebeest around. Now, Zana, you're wondering if they'll communicate with one another during the hunt. I don't think they're going to make too much noise. Obviously, when we see animals hunting, and I think when a cheetah runs at full speed, it probably can't say very much except try and catch its breath. So I don't think there's too much communication going on. We do obviously see a lot of body language communication, so not necessarily hearing it. But I reckon as they're moving through, they're not just trying to find something to eat and find the best potential prey to catch within a herd. So they'll probably be using their tails, their ears, just the way their body is postured, all these different types of things. But it'll be a quiet way of communicating. I mean, it's like when you watch these movies that are based on sort of wars, and the army goes into an area, you don't hear the soldiers talking to one another. They all use hand signals. So essentially, I suppose, a flick of the tail, a twitch of the ear, these all mean things to the cheetah that we just don't really understand. I mean, they're probably having an entire conversation with one another, and we just really don't know it. We see, the best thing is that when you sit and you watch an elephant, for example, and an elephant starts to get agitated, the very, very subtle signs that it shows you that it's agitated, and to the untrained eye, it'll go completely unnoticed. And for an elephant, it's going, I've told you 500 times that I didn't want you here. but without shaking my head or trumpeting, and not obvious to us. And I think communication amongst animals is we're only going to start to discover more and more, and sort of get more accurate answers as to why they do certain things with the development of technology. I think that the way that technology is advancing, and I always say this, it's going to change sort of safaris forever and things that we've learned. Right. I didn't quite hear what Kerr said, but I think we're going to go back to Scott. It sounds like he's being surrounded by the wildebeest.
We certainly are, and listen to how awesome the noises are from all these canoes gossiping as dusk begins to set in. It's a beautiful, beautiful evening here. You would have been looking out towards the rising moon in the east with Taylor, and now we are looking out towards the setting sun to the west. I'm confident that these guys are just waiting for it to get a little bit more dark, and then I'm almost certain they're going to start working this herd. So if you did have any plans for the next hour or so, I would strongly urge you to change them, because we have got a very, very good chance of seeing some incredible action, and for the first time in quite some time, if ever, we'll have two vehicles here to document them as they go about their business. It will be chaos, I can assure you of that, because even one vehicle trying to work out which cheetah to follow is tricky, so it definitely is going to be exciting. And while we wait for this action to unfold, we're going to send you over to some cuteness with Tristan.
Well, look at how cute this is. This is the two adult three-banded plovers. We're at Chitwa Dam, so I thought I'd come check on our plover family. The sad news is it's only one little chick left, unfortunately, that I can see. Maybe the second one is here somewhere, but it seems there's only one. There it comes. Hello, little one. That is just the cutest little thing, and you're going to find it's going to go tuck itself up underneath mom fairly shortly, I would imagine. It's still running around like crazy with those little wings, little pecking around going on, but shame, I don't know what's happened to the other one. I suppose it is part and parcel of being out here. There's a number of different predators around here. There's all kinds of things that could have potentially grabbed that little chick, so it's unfortunate, but this is the way that it goes. Nature can be quite harsh, and so it's a bit sad. I don't really like the fact that I can't see the other little one, and I hope it wasn't a drawn-out process for when that little one got taken. Hopefully it was just taken quickly and that was the end of it. But there it goes. It's just running off. I'm trying to probably catch up with mom, who's gone running away from it, and eventually it will catch up and it will then go snuggle underneath and try and kind of warm up and settle down for the night. But is that not just the cutest little thing? You can see how small it is. There's a bit of elephant dung on the right. So it gives you an idea of just how small that little guy is. It's absolutely tiny. Hey, little one. Look at you. Your legs are far too long. It always reminds me of that animated plover story that went around for a while. I can't remember who did it, but there was an animated plover story, and it is just reminds me exactly like that. Yeah, so there we go. Thanks, Kirst, from Pixar. They did one, and so it's a very cute little thing, and their legs are so long, and look how fast it can actually run. Considering how small it is, it can cover a serious amount of ground fairly quickly, and it's eventually going to catch up with the adult who's somewhere there. Oh, don't fall over. It's almost scratched itself to the point where it fell over. There we go. You see, it's got to sit down to scratch. It's very cute. Now, I know it's unfortunate that the other one's gone, but still, I like the fact that we can come and check up on our little family, and hopefully this little one will survive and make it to adulthood. It would be really great to be able to see this little one kind of growing and getting bigger, and super cute. Shame, unfortunately, the adults keep running and away from it, and it tries to catch up. There we go. It's going to go snuggle. Is it? No. Oh no. It wants to snuggle up to the mom or the dad, whoever that is. It's difficult to say. So I believe a lot of you are loving its long legs. There we go. It's just gone underneath. You can see it's wiggling just to get in underneath there. And there we go. That's where we're going to settle for the afternoon. How cute. Very nice. Now I'm going to leave our little plover family. I know we just wanted to have a glimpse. I don't want to disturb them too much, so I'm going to leave them and let them carry on with their day. It's so cool to see, though. Absolutely love watching this little plover family. It's been such a unique, well, not unique, but a different thing to follow. It's not something that I expected to see and to follow over a course of some time. Now I'm going to just quickly check behind Chitwa's dam wall, see what's going on down this side, see if Boo's around, and while I do that, I think we're going to head back to Scotty Too Hottie, the pro wrestler turned safari guide, who is now still following his cheetah as they begin the action.
Well, I'm sure you enjoyed that cute sighting with Tristan. These boys have been busy scrapping with one another, and that is why the wildebeest have detected them. You can see one wildebeest staring very intently at them, and there you can see a little bit of the playful scrapping that you just missed while you were gone, but they are up and moving, and I think it's only a matter of time until the action begins to unfold. I'm not sure whether we should stay where we are. I think we're okay here. I'm kind of torn as to whether to possibly move back a little bit more, because we do run the risk of them running straight past us. But I think we're okay here. We've got about 60 or 70 meters from those wildebeest that are staring at the cheetah. And as you saw before, the wildebeest often don't just run off immediately. They can often stand their ground. So I think we're okay here. Taylor's also creeping up from behind them just to the right, so she's also here enjoying the sighting with us. She's going to pop into frame any second now. There she is. So we've got all the angles covered. Isn't this absolutely awesome? Magic stuff. Now, looks like the wildebeests are thinking about starting to get out of town, and this is when the cheetah may start chasing them. Listen to the cacophony now, the words spreading amongst them. This camera's making it look slightly lighter than it actually is now. It's a little bit darker than the picture you're seeing. So it's becoming more and more favorable for these cheetah because it's easier for them to create confusion and chaos. And there they begin, it looks like. How awesome is this? I am going to turn the vehicle quickly. What an incredible scene this is. Well, they just had a little bit of a go there, and I'm sure they're going to continue to try their luck. So I think Jahawi's chosen a good one to stay on there. I'm going to keep an eye on the one that's closer to us. This is exactly how it goes. You can see that one's got a slight injury. It's got a bit of a limp. Okie dokie. I'm going to have to reposition again quickly. Oh, this is the most beautiful scene imaginable. The full moon, or almost full moon, massive herd of wildebeest, with a coalition of 5 cheetah doing their best to go for them. Now, okay, we're going to send you across to Taylor and get her angle on the situation. Go to the one at 11 o'clock.
Hello everybody, and big welcome to all the teachers who have joined us from the conference today. I'll introduce myself in a minute. This is very exciting. We have got 5 male cheetah known as the musketeers churning up a storm amongst, a teacup of wildebeest. And they've been on and off trying to catch him for most of the afternoon today. So I look forward to your questions. Look at all the dust that's being kicked up. It's obviously getting quite dark now, so it's getting quite difficult to view. So hopefully Scott, who's up ahead, will be able to jump across because he's in the sighting with me and get a better spot. And we're going to bounce between both of our feeds. We're quite far away. We actually need to move forward and catch up towards them. Let's do that very quickly. Hello, my name is Taylor, and you have the pleasure of watching Manu bring you all this amazing footage today. How amazing is this? The fact that we're in the middle of the Masai Mara National Park in Kenya, under the beautiful moon, watching cheetahs try and hunt. It's actually getting really difficult to try and see them. We won't be putting any spotlights on any of these animals. We're very lucky. Both cars are equipped with special infrared lights, so it won't affect. Okay, right, so I'm not sure what's going on. I can just see lots of clouds. You're watching Scott's feed now. Are the cheetah chasing? I can't see anything up ahead. I'm trying to catch up to Scott to get a better view. Okay, so now we're in infrared, as you can see. I'm gonna put foot. So they're on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. I'm driving in and amongst the herd of wildebeest now, but they're not after these guys behind us, so I'm just watching where everyone is. They actually seem to be up in front. I can see them, they are running, but there's just so much dust that's being churned up. Just gonna go around this way and get a wider berth. Right, let's jump across into Scott's car very quickly.
Well, it is all kicking off here. It is absolute chaos. Difficult to know where to film and which ones to follow because they each start chasing wildebeest randomly. You can see there's dust everywhere, which is also making it tricky for us to see. I'm going to get us closer to the action. Now, they've been trying their best to find a weakness, but they cannot find one yet. But as it gets darker, not that it's going to get pitch black, because obviously you can see that massive moon there is going to help the wildebeest with a little bit of ambient light. But these guys mean business. Yeah, switch over to IR. We're going to start using our infrared lighting, which will allow us to better see the animals and keep track of what they are getting up to. Whew. Looks like Taylor's going to be trying to link ahead of the action, which is going to be great, because then I can stay on one side and she can try and take a guess as to where the action is going to unfold. What a scene this is. That, together with the noise from all these canoes, what an awesome scene, and we are very, very lucky to be enjoying this. Can you believe that we are sending you these images live all the way from the Masai Mara? It always boggles my mind when you stop and actually think about what is going on here right now with many, many people, and it is so good to have you all along for this exciting hunt. So it seems like the boys are just taking a small breather. Not all of them have shown much commitment. It's mainly been 2 that it appears that have been doing the majority of the chasing. Do you mind just staying wide, Josh, so we can see what all of them are doing? Thank you. Now I'm guessing the one from the second from the left is going to be the one that next launches an attack. So let's stay on him for now. Just going to put on my thermal imaging camera quickly, which will also help to try and work out where the guys are. Okay. Very, very good. I think I may creep us forward a little bit before they surge their next attack. It's always a bit of a balance trying to work out where to position the vehicle, but I think it's safe to say that we can move forward a little bit now. Have you got this one here, Jar? That's... Oof. Here we go. Let's see if this is going to be the next individual to launch an attack. Zebras are now calling. That's the... that you may have been able to pick up in the distance. Okay. A standoff for now. Sadly for the cheetah, it's not going to get a whole bunch darker than it is at the moment because of this very, very bright moon. So it's not going to be easy for them to create confusion. Watch the cheetah on the left here. Go for the cheetah on the left. Okay, well, that cheetah had a vague inquisit, and just if you pan to the right, you'll see the cheetah. Welcome to everyone who has just joined us on Facebook. It is a great pleasure to welcome you to the Masai Mara. We have 5 male cheetah. This is one of them that's just launched the most recent attack. They are surrounded by wildebeest, and like I said, it is not just 1 but 5 cheetah, and I've got a feeling they are going to get lucky. I'm going to leave that individual now and reposition us closer to the other 4, which are directly ahead of us. I'm feeling like one of them might launch the next attack first, so let's make sure we are not left behind. It all happens so quickly and moves so quickly that we do need to just make sure we are always in the best possible position. We are coming to you live from the Masai Mara, and it's a beautiful, beautiful evening. It's almost full moon, which is not going to be helping these cheetah. They would be better off if it was pitch black, but there's a lot of ambient light coming from this very bright moon. Now, I'm feeling confident we are going to get lucky and see these guys succeed in bringing down a wildebeest. I've never really seen them make any failed attempts. Once they want a meal, they get it. It's just a matter of time, and it usually doesn't take them too long, but behavior like that is not going to get you dinner very quickly. That is for sure. Okay, now they have been moving quite a bit, so maybe they're just catching their breath. Okay, I'm going to keep us closer to the action. Whew, exciting stuff indeed. And it's been a while since I've actually seen these guys hunting after dark. Most of the most recent kills have been during the daylight hours. And you'll notice that we are switching from infrared to color. So obviously now we're on color, but we were on infrared before. And we're going to send you across to Taylor, who is also enjoying the sighting with us, to see her view on the situation.
We are indeed, we most certainly are. We've just got to go for a very bumpy section, so apologies, the camera's going to bounce quite a bit. I'm trying to get a view. Let me introduce myself very quickly while we're driving around. It's very exciting to be a part of the sighting with Scott. My name is Taylor, and on camera with me is Manu, and we're going to bring you two different angles of this exciting moment. Now, I cannot see a thing. It's almost pitch black out here. I don't even know where the cheetah are anymore. We have to use our special infrared lights to see them, and it's just Scott and I out here. There's nobody else other than the security teams, the anti-poaching out here, trying to keep a safe eye on the animals. But there we go, something else that's got an eye on the animals, and that's of course the cheetah. I can't believe how they've been up and down. They've caused such a stir this afternoon with this particular herd of wildebeest. It actually started this morning where they were chasing them around. The wildebeest have just been going in circles, basically. It's a back and forth scene with the cheetah and the wildebeest. But let's go a little bit further forward again. Obviously, with these lights, we do have a bit of a restriction in terms of distance. So I'm going to need to keep going closer and closer. We're not going to go closer. We're going to interfere with the hunt. We're keeping away from the animals. We're not putting any artificial light, anything like that on them. So, and that's what's so exciting as well, is that we can film in infrared and try and intervene as little as possible. I'm going to try and get around and get a different angle. I'm going to send you back across just a couple of 100 meters away to Scott.
Well, that's a good idea, Taylor, so that we can try and best stay with the action. This is the individual who launched the last attack. He's on his own. The other four are off to the right of the vehicle. And we need to keep leapfrogging to stay with them. As you can see, they're almost on the edge of our range already. So, we must just continue to keep up with them so that we are ready for the action when it unfolds. If it unfolds, it may not. I've been very confident that they are going to take getting dinner seriously this evening, but maybe I am wrong. What has happened here? I've hit a button on my little thermal imaging camera and it's causing some trouble for me now. Okay, back in action. Sorry everyone, I've been focusing on trying to get my thermal, which you just heard beep, up and running. It is very, very important so I can try and keep track of all the cheetah, which is all good. Sorry everyone, we're having trouble with our radios at the moment, so it's very difficult for us to talk to you and hear your questions, so apologies for that. Well, it's not difficult to talk to you, I can talk to you all day, but I just won't be able to answer your questions. So apologies for that. Just hearing a few alien squeaks from Kirsty. And while we continue to try and keep just in the action here, we're going to send you back to Taylor to get her view.
We've just managed to get into the right spot. There you can see Scott with one of the cheetahs walking just behind his car, completely relaxed, not worried at all. And there's a second, a third, a fourth, and there's a fifth one just a little bit up ahead. Now, the wildebeest know that these cheetah are here. There's absolutely no secret. You can just starting to see those sort of faint black shapes on the right-hand corner of your screen. That's where the wildebeest herd is all bunching up. But it's a long line. It's probably a line of wildebeest of about 100 meters in length. or so, which is quite spectacular. So they're not really stalking up to their prey right now. And for those of you who are wondering why on earth are these cheetah hunting at night, that's a misconception. That's a wives' tale that unfortunately has been passed on from generation to generation, I suppose. It is also full moon though, so there's plenty of light out here. Even though it's difficult for you and I to see, and we've got to use infrared to spot them, the cheetah will be able to see perfectly. The wildebeest, however, will also be able to see the cheetah tonight. But sometimes they do hunt at night, so they really just hunt whenever they want. I've come across many cheetahs who have made fresh kills in the Sabi sand, which is where our other location is, where Tristan is driving out of, at round about this time, and not necessarily even a moon out, be quite thick with clouds and almost pitch black outside, and they will also hunt. So what I can see Scott's doing, he's actually being quite clever. He's trying to get around the other side of the wildebeest, because that's the direction that the cheetah are going to chase them in. It must be particularly hard though for these boys. They've been on the move for quite some time now. They really, really are wanting to catch something. Let me go forward just a little bit. We're just getting out of range with our infrared lights, so I'll just shimmy forward a bit. I can't even see these cheetahs, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my spotlight, but to actually see where I'm going, just in front of the car. But while I get a better view, I'm going to send you across to Scott and see if he's managed to get a bit closer.
Yes, for now we are a bit closer. The wildebeest continue to just keep moving off. The cheetah are persistently following them, but it appears they're kind of possibly losing a bit of interest, sadly. Maybe there are just no weaknesses in and amongst this herd. They definitely have been thinking about a meal though, there's no two ways about that. And maybe later on tonight they will get lucky. But for now they are actually veering away from the wildebeest and may have possibly lost interest, or maybe they're going to be having a little meeting, regrouping and planning their next strategy. For all of you guys that joined us on Facebook, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed the excitement. Be sure to keep tuned in to any more notifications. They could change their mind and get busy hunting again. It's been great having you with us. See you next time. So they should be straight in front of us, Jar. Where have these guys gone? Kind of directly in front of us. If you just zoom in over the bonnet, you'll see them. Ah, great stuff. Tristan has found a leopard. Off you go.
We have indeed, so we've managed to find Kuchava. We were at Chitwa Dam Wall, we heard Impala's alarm calling, and we quickly raced down, and there she is, just disappearing from us into some really dense bush. Hopefully she's going to slow down. She's on a serious mission. She keeps moving all over the place, but you see she's scent marking. Now that scent marking is super important and super interesting, because at the end of the day, she's claiming a territory that we know this was where her mother used to walk around a lot, and the fact that she's spraying like that is a definite indication that she thinks this is now her territory. So it is super important. Now I'm super excited, and I forgot to welcome the Slack Elementary Teachers Conference. I hope that you are having a wonderful time with us, and it is really great to have you on board. I'm going to try and keep up with the leopard and try and kind of make sure that I don't lose her, and just so that we're all on the same page, my name is Tristan. On camera today I do have Senzo. It's all a little bit kind of chaotic because, well, a leopard is a special thing, and we don't get to see them. Well, we do see them quite often, but we've been looking all day for leopard and been tracking lots of tracks, and we've had a bit of a frustrating day trying to find them. So this is really cool to be able to catch her now as she's about to sort of start her evening patrol and move around and start walking around to try and kind of get food or maybe potentially hunt or at least mark her territory, which is really very cool. Now you can see it's going to get very dense, very thick. It's not going to be pleasant, and then from there she's going to go down towards a very deep drainage line, but in that drainage line is going to be water, so I'm hoping that once she goes down towards the water she might stop and have a drink before she then decides to start getting going again and starting to try and hunt and start moving around and scent marking. But this is a young female leopard. She's only just started becoming territorial, so she's about I think she's about almost 4 now, so about 3.5, 4 years old, and so she is starting to get to that age where she's got to set up a territory. She's been mating with a male as well, which means that she could potentially be pregnant, and therefore that's why she's going to have a situation where she's going to want to try and establish territory if she is. So she has been mating. It often takes a while for them to mate. In their first few mating experiences, they kind of it takes a while until they actually take the pregnancy and give birth, but look, you see she spotted something? Look, she's gone into a different mode altogether. She's getting low to the ground. You see that tail is moving a little bit, so she's just checking things out. So she's definitely looking for food and is on the move trying to find something to eat. And this is the best time to be with a leopard. When they're like this, it means that you're in for a real treat, and you're going to have lots and lots and lots of amazing sightings of them as they try and hunt. You see how she's going up a little bit now? She's up onto a fallen over tree just to watch and to try and see and to look what's going on. Now I think whatever it is has spotted her, because she's put her tail up, and you see there's a very, very big white tip to that tail. Now that white tip on the tail indicates that she's telling everybody, I'm not trying to hunt you, leave me alone. If she has been spotted, she's trying to reduce the amount of noise that is around her. But I'm going to try and keep up with her. She seems as though she's changing direction a little bit. All very exciting. I absolutely love leopards. They're my favorite animal, and so anytime I get to see a leopard, I'm a happy camper, and so hopefully it will be a really good sighting, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it too. Now remember, I did forget, if you do have any questions, you're welcome to send them through, and we shall try and answer as many as possible about the secretive shy leopard. There we go. What's she chasing? She's chasing something. You see she's kind of trotting off down the hill towards something. I don't know what she's seen. I don't see anything just yet, but it could be anything like a scrub hare or a duiker or steenbok, which are small little sort of medium-sized antelope. There's also things like impala, which is close to a deer-sized antelope, and that's what she might have spotted, and that's why she shot off to try and go and chase it. Now I believe you guys are loving the leopard and that you're really enjoying it. It is one of the most beautiful animals, and following those cheetah, you can actually see that there's quite a lot of differences between the two. Now this is a small female leopard. It's not a fully grown yet. She probably will still bulk up a little bit, but you see her spot pattern is completely different to those that you saw of the cheetah in the Mara. She's got spots that look like they've exploded out, and they're called what we term rosettes. You also see that she's a stockier, shorter build, a lot more power in the shoulders and the chest area, because these guys are designed for ambush and bringing down large prey animals in relative to their size, whereas cheetah, built for speed, are a lot more elongated, a lot taller, slender animals that are built for speed and for chasing animals down over short distances. These guys are designed to try and camouflage incredibly well, and you can see her coloration, even though she's got those rosettes, actually blends in so well, and it's quite difficult to see her as she sort of negotiates and slinks through this thick bush. But try and just keep up with her. It's a little difficult to Now, I believe, unfortunately, the school's internet's gone down, so they're no longer watching, but, well, the rest of you are with us, so you guys can still send your questions through on #SafariLive or YouTube chat as we try and follow Kuchava. I'm so excited to see her. It's been a while since I've seen her. The last time I saw her, she was mating with Tingana. I think that's the last time I saw her, and so it's super cool that we can be with her and really follow her through this little period. Liz, you're asking, does this mean we may get more Kuchava sightings now that she's around this area? Most certainly, I think that will be the case. She's going to have a situation where she's scent marking, means that she's trying to set up her territory and she's trying to get a sort of position in this area. So I think we're going to see a lot more of Kuchava over the next little bit. I really think we're going to be a permanent fixture of this southern sort of area of Chitwa, and maybe even around Chitwa Lodge, where she might follow in her mother's footsteps and actually give birth around there. Now, at the end of the day, Kuchava wasn't born at Chitwa. Tumba was born here, but Kuchava wasn't born far away, and so she's going to probably go around this area between Cheetah Plains and Chitwa, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot more of her, as well as a lot more of Tundi, because ultimately if she's here, it means Tundi's pushing a little further north, which is excellent news for us. Remember, Tundi at the end of the day is pregnant, and we know that she's got to give birth somewhere, and if Kuchava is scent marking like this, it means Tundi is not scent marking here, which means she doesn't want to actually give birth in this area. She wants to birth somewhere else, and so I think where Tundi's going to birth is either going to be Torchwood or on Djuma, one of the two. I'm hoping on Djuma. I think she's spending enough time around the Mulawati checking it out to look for viable den sites, and obviously it's back to her natal area where she was born, so she'll know there's some safe places there. And so I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to see Kuchava down here in the South Cheetah Plains, Chitwa, and we're going to see Tundi more in Torchwood, Djuma, and that's how this separation is going to go, and that's absolutely perfect for us. It's exactly what we want. Whenever we have female leopards that have female cubs, it's always that excitement, because we know that generally those females will be somewhere in that area and end up sort of taking a sliver of territory from their mother. But there we go, she's just trotting. She's on a serious mission. I don't know what she's seen, but she's trotting. So Ellen Fowler, you saying that she's just over 3 years old. She was born in September 2014. So there we go. I thought she was, I don't know why I thought 4. I knew I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting too excited about things. But thank you very much for the information. It's always so helpful when people send things through. I wasn't actually here when Kuchava was born. I wasn't in the Sabi Sands at that stage. In fact, I was sitting in dreary London at the time. And so it's nice to know that what her exact age is, and it's just been fantastic to actually catch up with her and spend some time with her over the last little bit. Now, as you can see, it's a wonderful area she's decided to move through and decide to actually kind of go in, and I'm trying to negotiate it as best I can for the quickness that she's moving. She's unfortunately moving a lot faster than I was hoping she would. There we go. Has she gone up the tree now? So she's gone up into a tree, so I'm going to just try and get round. Well, that's good news. Pity she went up when she did, although I've got a great idea, because there is a reason why I am very happy about this. Hold on, let me just try and get through. Still got a bit of a playful nature if she's going up and down trees like this. So what I want to try and do is hopefully we can pull this off. It's going to be a long shot, but we're going to try. So it might require a little bit of space, but Sense, if you can try and get for me, let's see if I can get this right, a widest shot of her, and it's going to be tough, but maybe you can try, of her and the full moon. It's not quite the right terrain for her to be backdropped by the full moon, but you can see the full moon there in the left hand side, and then she's sitting up in the tree, and how beautiful is that? So I would have liked to have lined her up with the full moon and have her silhouetted against it, but unfortunately the way the terrain and the way that she's lying doesn't quite work out that way, and we don't really have the exact alignment possible, but it's close enough and still epically beautiful. And I'm glad she went up the tree. It's nice. Now I don't have to go crashing through bushes. It's been a thick little journey trying to get through here and following her around. So whatever she's been watching, she's in a kind of playful mood. She's running, she's up trees. It's a typical kind of young leopard behavior, but isn't that beautiful? Pink sky in the background. It's as good as it gets, really. Are we being spoilt by that? She just now, when we first found her, she was walking through the most magnificent orange light. It was really quite amazing. Now, what I'm going to try and do, she's looking up into Sense. I'm going to just try and move you a little bit, because I just wanted the moon shot, and the moon shot doesn't quite work. So I'm just going to reposition Senzo so that he's got a better kind of view of her that is a lot cleaner without all those sticks. There we go. That should do it. There we go, Sense. That's a lot better. So Senso's going to have a much nicer kind of picture of her up in the tree. And look, oh, she's stretching. There we go. That's much better. Now we don't have sticks and things all in front of her eyes. How beautiful is that? That is the quintessential African picture, or even Sabi Sands picture. A leopard in a big marula, just sitting yawning at the sort of dusk or sunset time. It is really the best kind of picture you could think of, and one that anyone who dreams about leopards would dream about something like that. So super happy that she went up there and just slowed down a little bit for us. Like I say, there is water not far from here, so I don't think she's going to be up for too long. I think she's going to probably come down just now. Kathy, it's not that they're edging each other out with scent marking. They're using scent marking as a way of being passive-aggressive, if you want to call it that. So they're marking to try and establish themselves in a territory, particularly Kuchava. She hasn't held a territory. Thandi is marking to try and keep a territory, whereas Kuchava is trying to set one up. And so her scent marking is a little bit different to what Thandi is doing. But yes, I suppose essentially yes. I suppose a chemical barrier is being formed by scent marking, and that is telling any other leopard, I've made my mark here, this is my territory, my area, and this is where I want to be. And so that's probably why she's marking like that, and it does push other leopards away at the end of the day. You know, they try and do this so that they don't actually physically have to fight with one another. It's a much better system than having to physically fight. Now, our leopard is stationary for now. There's a few monkeys alarm calling at her, so we're going to sit with her for a little bit longer, and while we do that, I believe Scott's sleek, slender, spotted beauties, and, well, cousin of this, is on the move and is still continuing the hunt.
Well done to Tristan for finding the elusive leopard. Taylor and I are still with the boys. There you can see Taylor in the background. They appear to have changed their thoughts about dining tonight and have just walked off to a tree and done some scent marking and are now taking a breather. So who knows, maybe they will get up and active and successfully hunt later. But it seems like they're not as determined as they usually are. This is the first time that I've seen them actually attempt to hunt and fail. It's the first of many, many hunts that I've spent with them where they actually just haven't really gone for it, which is a surprise to me. I thought they could catch something whenever they pleased, but it's obviously not as easy, and we've just been very lucky to see them be so successful. It certainly has been wonderful being back on the side of the river. But tomorrow, Jahawi and I head back to camp, and we'll leave Taylor here to keep an eye on these boys. She's going to spend another night out here. My vehicle's developed a bit of a problem today, and that the steering wheel's become very, very tight. I'm not too sure exactly what the issue is, so I need to get that tended to. Hi Neil, you'd like to know what are my thoughts on the chances of these guys allowing any more cheetah into their coalition. I think it's highly unlikely. I think now that these guys are established, they would chase off and possibly kill any other cheetah that they come across. I could be wrong, and there are always exceptions to the rules, but I think, you know, there's a certain age bracket and a certain window period, which would be when the cheetah are a bit younger, when they can come together and join forces. It's unlikely, not impossible, that these guys who are now established would let any youngsters into their group, and any older established males they would possibly try to kill or certainly chase away. And that has happened. There is a male cheetah who is called Martin, who used to spend a lot of time in this area. This was his territory until about 3 weeks ago. Now, even though these guys used to pass through his territory quite often from time to time from the northern kind of conservancies where they used to hang out, they do these kind of exploratory missions. But in the last few weeks, they've been camping out here, and he has moved into their old spot. So they've evidently swapped their accommodation. It is a beautiful evening. The wind has died down. There's a slight breeze, but it's not nearly as windy as it was earlier. And how great is it to be out with these boys? I think, though, we are probably going to leave them be, seeing as they are not up to much now, and see if we can't find you anything else of interest on our way back to camp. So, yeah, I think that's that. Come on, Taylor. Alrighty. Well, the good news is, even though we're leaving the cheetah, Tristan is still with that leopard. Off you go.
I do indeed. She's still sitting up in the tree. The monkeys are still alarm calling at her, and she's settling right down now. She's starting to look really as though she's going to have a little bit of a nap. Now she's just turning to the south and watching. I wonder if maybe she didn't hear something. I've heard on the radio just now that somebody heard a leopard calling. Maybe she's heard it as well. That's maybe why she's up there, just to have a little look around. And then we go back down again. But like I say, it is just the most perfect tree that she could be in, this kind of split marula that bends round, and it's just such a wonderful picture to see. It's kind of as good as it gets, really. It's a pity about some of the branches that are kind of on the bottom right there. It would have been a really beautiful picture if it was just those purple colors of the sort of twilight and just the clean lines of the marula. It would have been absolutely wonderful, but it's still pretty special, to be honest, and it's as good as I could have asked for this afternoon. Now she does seem as though she's quite full. I mean, she's not empty. There's a little bit of a bump in that belly, and although she doesn't look very comfortable either. I don't know if she's going to stay there for too much longer. I think she's going to wait until she maybe kind of figures out what's going on. I believe there's a leopard calling. I can hear it also in the distance as well, to exactly the way that she's looking at the moment. So maybe Tingana calling from somewhere in that direction. I know Hosanna is straight to our west at the moment on Little Gari, so it's going to be interesting to see who this is. Now, when we were following Kuchava just now, the impala started alarm calling behind us long after we left. So I don't know if maybe she's being pursued by another leopard and that's why she's kind of moved as fast as she was. But there was definitely, once she moved past, the impalas kind of trotted off, and then they started alarm calling again, way away from where we were and way out of the way from where we could actually see her, or from the impalas seeing her. So maybe there's another leopard cruising around here. It's very possible. Could be maybe Tingana. Like I say, there was tracks for a male leopard crossing southwards from the Mulawati, and so I'm not sure. Maybe something will arrive here. We'll sit and just have a little look around, and while we do that, Taylor McCurdy and Scotty D have been tag teaming the Five Musketeers, and I believe it's now Taylor's turn to watch the beauty and to watch those beautiful five go through the long grass and hunt again.
So we're still with our boys. Scott has now left us, and some interesting sounds coming from these cheetah at the moment. It's a little bit of a dispute going on. There's two cheetah that are definitely picking on one of the other boys, but they're not particularly social, the males, in terms of like how lions, I suppose, are quite social with one another. Even the coalitions of males, to an extent, constantly spend time reassuring those bonds. That doesn't really seem to happen with male cheetah. Yes, they will head rub, but to see them spending time grooming one another, it's not quite the same. They've just disturbed some crowned lapwings as well, so they must have a nest nearby. They weren't particularly happy. I don't know if these boys are going to get lucky tonight. They've tried and tried and tried, and they just seem to be trying hard enough. There's wildebeest all around them still. The herd has broken up slightly though. It's definitely into smaller chunks now, and they're heading in the direction of that female and also the 4 male lions. Now, Reddick, you're wondering if a cheetah will hunt more than once a day. I suppose it depends what it catches. So if early in the morning, these 5 boys catch something like a Thompson's gazelle, I'm sure later in the afternoon towards the early evening, they'll probably go get something again. If they don't catch something a second time, that's all right, that they'll be all right. But I mean, a cheetah can hunt every single day. They're not like lions that will take down prey so big that it will be enough food for them for, a couple of days. The chances of them holding on to large prey is actually very, very little. So why waste the time in bringing down something too big if you're going to run the risk of having it stolen from you? So ideally, these 5 boys, if they could take down a sub-adult wildebeest, that'd be perfect. What is D'Artagnan spotted? He's seen something. Look how he's become completely focused. They're now staring off to the left. This is basically back down towards the west. I don't know what they've seen. And there could be something quite far behind us that we just can't see. I mean, it could be something as small as a scrub hare. There's plenty scrub hares around. They actually walked right past one a little while ago. That scrub hare, I think, held its breath as the 5 cheetah walked past. Okay, there we go. So, not anything. I think they're listening out at the moment. They're still downwind of a group of wildebeest and Thompson's gazelle. This has been amazing. Right, I'm not going to hold you too much longer. It sounds like Miss Kuchava is making her way down a tree.
Well, she's already down the tree. I don't know which way she's going to go, but she's down already. So I'm just trying to see which way she's starting to head now and which way she's actually going to kind of move. She might head back the way she came. I've just got to let this vehicle turn so that I can also just try and figure out where exactly she's gone. I don't see her anymore, so I don't know if maybe she's kind of moved off through here. I think she's gone just to the left of this vehicle, so we're going to just try and get one last view of her before we finish up for the evening. It's been a good evening, but hopefully we'll be able to, like I say, just sneak through here and get one last view as she moves through this thicket. So it's not an easy place at all to try and keep up with the leopard, as we saw earlier. Now she's just off to my right. But you're wondering why most leopards are territorial, or most predators are territorial. Well, it's because predators are very dangerous to one another in terms of the fact that they kind of have got to keep away from other predators, and so they've got to make a territory where they know there's hiding places. Also because predators know that they've got to try and hunt and try and find water, and so food and water mean that they've got to constantly be on the lookout for, well, try and reduce competition, because it's going to be very difficult to hunt if there's a whole bunch of other predators already hunting the same animals. So push them away, make sure that they've got their own territory where they can raise their babies safely and also be able to find food and water. And so that's why they all are that way. I don't know where she's gone. I've lost her completely. So the other guys say that they can see her. Now I'm trying to find my spotlight in all of this, in all the chaos and her being up in the tree. I didn't think she was going to come down as quickly as she did. Where is my spotlight? There it is. That's going to help. There she is. She's right in the distance. She's quite far ahead of me now, and she's going up the road. So I'm going to just try and quickly jump back. I didn't think she would change direction as much as she did, but she has. So I think we're going to get one last little glimpse of her as she kind of probably moves over towards the road. So she's somewhere in this general vicinity over here. Now she should pop out somewhere. Can you see her, guys? No. So somewhere here, Sense, maybe if you can just scan for me with the camera, because she should be popping out. I saw her walking in this direction. There she is. So there we go. That's going to be probably our last view of her. She's just sitting watching a sort of termite mound at the moment, and you can see she's very twitchy. Ears are moving. There she goes, trotting. And like I say, I'm pretty sure this is going to be our last kind of visual of her as she sort of moves through the bush. It's also, unfortunately, all we've got time for this evening. We've got a situation where time has run out rather fast. It's been an action-packed drive from the spotted cats of the Mara entertaining everyone to Kuchava. Right at the end here is our last-minute Leopard and Djuma, who's been an absolute treat, running up into trees and all kinds of other things. It seems as though it's been a really busy spotty-catted drive. Spotty-catted drive. Does that make sense? I suppose so. But anyway, from myself, Scott Taylor, Senzo, the Camops in the Mara, Kirst, and Lou, I think it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you tomorrow on the Sunrise Safari.